Okay, so we're going to do the Rye Starter 2 out of the book. I'm only doing 3 ounces of the rye flour, 3 ounces of water, and then I have 0.05 of instant yeast. It calls for even less than that, but this is the least amount my scales are going to weigh. A little extra yeast isn't going to hurt you. So I've added the water. I'm just going to stir this up, and then I'm going to put it in a container, and tomorrow I will make my bread out of it. This is basically the same as your poolish, because you have 100% flour, 100% moisture, and then a little bit of yeast. So we'll see this again tomorrow. I'm going to put a piece of plastic wrap over the top, and then it'll sit on my counter. So I have in my bowl the rye starter that we made, and to that I'm going to add 6 ounces of rye flour, and then I'm going to add 1 pound 8 ounces of white flour to that. Just regular white flour or white bread flour. And then I'm going to add my salt. I've got 0.6 ounces of that. And I'm going to add some duck fat to it. The recipe calls for lard or goose fat. And I didn't have any, but I had some duck fat, believe it or not, just hanging out in my freezer. So I'm going to add that. It's going to make it taste really good. And I've already combined my yeast and my water together. So I'm going to put it on the machine, and then I'm going to start it up with the dough hook. There's a couple of things I want you to know about rye flour. It drinks a lot of water. So you're going to notice that I have quite a bit of water here. I have 1 pound, 4 ounces water. Into that I've added the 0.25 ounces of instant yeast. I'm kind of pouring around the outside, knocking that wall of flour down with the water. I've got to build up over here, so I'm going to take care of that all the way around. But rye flour does absorb a lot of water. And for that reason, you've got to be a little bit gentler when you're mixing it. So we're going to mix this on speed 1 the entire time. We want to do 2 clicks on a KitchenAid to simulate speed 1 on a professional machine. And I'm going to let that run for about 12 minutes. I do go on and do that 1.5 minutes to check my hydration, but again, about 12 minutes. It's going to be a little shaggy, so okay, so it's been about 12 minutes now, and you notice the dough is pretty loose, but not too bad. Got a bowl. I'm going to spray that with a little bit of pan spray. And then I'm going to just turn my dough out into the bowl. You notice there is some gluten development. That's because of the white flour. It is kind of sticky. So just pull it off, and then we're going to put it in this bowl. If it really starts messing with you a lot, you might want to spray your hands with a little bit of pan spray. So there it is. Okay, give it a good twist. Okay, so I'm going to add the dough to the bowl, just like any other. But again, I want you to note that this is a little bit looser. I mean, it's not as bad as the ciabatta bread, but it is a little bit looser. So once we get it all turned out, come on, there you go. Once we get it all turned out, we're going to just dome it. I think I'll take my own advice and spray my hands a little bit. So we just want to dome it a little bit. That way we can see the growth. And then I'm going to cover it with a piece of plastic wrap. And then I'm going to let this ferment for about an hour, room temperature, 70-ish degrees. Okay? Okay, so we'll see you in about an hour. Okay, the bread's proofed and ready to go into the oven. Remember, this is the pan de Campagne. So Bill's going to load the oven.
Okay, since this oven does not have steam injection, the one thing that we've done is when I turn this oven on, I put a cast iron skillet in the bottom. I've got 3 ice cubes. I'm going to drop those in, load the bread. They'll melt. They'll give me enough steam. It's not going to be like a professional oven, but it'll work when you're at your house. So, cast iron skillet. You see how we're producing steam. Now we're going to close the oven. We'll revisit this when they're done.
Okay, it's been 15 minutes. Oh, look at those. Aren't those pretty? Okay, that is our pan de Campagne. Again, it is what they refer to as a peasant or a rustic bread. Country, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to let it cool down for about 3 or 4 minutes, and then I'll break one open for you so you can see the crumb.